I gotta do some work now. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. President Walter has indicated that he may be a little late this evening, so we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. This meeting has been given public notice in accordance with Section 1983 and 1984 of the Wisconsin statutes in such form that will apprise the general public and news media of subject matter that is intended for consideration and action. Roll call will show that all village trustees are present except for Trustee Kaminsky and Trustee Pieper, as well as President Walter, as we've noted previously. Kaminsky, I think, is just excused outright, and both President Walter and Trustee Pieper had indicated that they may be a little bit late. So we'll see if they show up. With that, we'll do the pledge, and then we'll take a nomination for pro tem. To the flag, the United States of America, republic for which it stands, one nation. So with that, we'll look for a nomination for the chair pro tem.
Make a motion to nominate Rick Miller for chair pro tem.
Okay.
All right, having a motion and a second to have Trustee Rick Miller fill in as chair pro tem. All those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. I will turn it over to you.
All right, is this on? Hello?
Sound like it's on.
Doesn't seem like the mics are on. It is? Okay. They're at the right volume then.
Appearances are on.
With that, there is, the president isn't here, so there really isn't any president report, but we will postpone that if he wants to say something when he comes. Otherwise, we will move on to item 5, which is announcements of forthcoming events of public interest, committee and department reports. With that, we'll go to Trustee Hudson.
Thank you. Public safety will meet in this room at 5:30 on July 10th.
All right. That's public safety. Public Works, Trustee Kaminsky isn't here, so we are meeting on Wednesday, June 7th at 6 p.m. in this boardroom. And General Government and Finance's next meeting will be June 19th at 6 p.m. in this boardroom. Okay, is there any other announcements?
Plan Commission will meet in this boardroom Monday, June 12th at 6:30 p.m.
Trustee Nyrider.
Trustee Miller, is Public Works at 5:30 on Wednesday night?
Was it 5:30?
I think so.
Could be right. It's 5:30. Good thing you told me. I'd have showed up 30 minutes late.
Trustee Miller?
Yeah.
One other item that might be of interest, Sewer PAC, Southeastern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission is meeting on Wednesday, June 14th in the Washington County buildings, and they will be considering the sanitary sewer service amendment that was heard at a public hearing here at our last meeting.
All right, thank you. Is there anything else for announcements? All right, if not, we will move on to citizen, oh, I'm sorry. Let's Phil.
Thank you. I'd like to put out a plea for concerned members of our community to please volunteer for our community's 4th of July celebration. On the 4th of July, we have numerous open spots, and the celebration simply can't happen without volunteers. We've got a sign up on volunteer spot, or you can also send an email to me if you're interested, and I can connect you. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there links on all the normal places, Facebook, the website, our website?
That is my understanding.
Source.
Great. Anything else? Okay, if not, we will move on to citizen input. Please, citizens, please come up to the podium and state your name and address, and you will have 3 minutes to discuss what you want to. Is there anyone wishing to come forward for citizen input? Yes, please.
My name is Lindsay Vidal, North 101 West 25th. I'm just coming to follow up. This is during my basement flooding. I was told that the attorney tried to be wants to get a hold of the assessors, and they could not. So you sent the attorney in to assess the basement to make sure that it was being rebuilt. Was there for quite a while, took several pictures, said that I would be notified shortly after that, either by mail or email. And I've sent several emails to follow up, and no one is replying to me. So I just am trying to figure out where to go from here.
Well, I can tell you that your claim was denied by the village board. Typically, the clerk's office would send notice of that denial. I don't, obviously, I'm not the clerk, so I don't know if Deanna did. Deanna is no longer with us. So I'll just ask Angel to look in that here before she leaves at the end of the week. I did get your email. You know, the clerk is the responsible party to respond to you at that point. So we'll find out and make sure. So
I apologize for that oversight and we'll take care of it. Anyone else wishing to come forward for citizen input?
Quickly, I was surprised to find out that cars were sealed, no notice. Pay attention. I was at work, calls. You gotta move your car or put down the mask. Retired people. I could question why we're still. Oh, I got some letter that was attached to my house. Or something that's every day, so if I would have gotten it. Working on communication folks. Problem in the village with. I pay attention. All people should. If there's gonna be scaffolding going on in my neighborhood where I gotta get a call and say, yeah, can we move the cars or whatever? Sure, I'm sure there's a good reason for it, but what about a notification? Nothing. There was nothing on the public website, Facebook, there was nothing anywhere that it was going to be done.
Thank you for coming forward. Is there anyone else wishing to come forward for citizen input? All right, if not, we will move on to appointments. Item A, Economic Development Commission, Kimberly Higginbotham, Danny Yagi, and Scott Heffley.
Make a motion to approve Roman numeral 7 appointments.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to accept the appointments for Economic Development Commission. Is there any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8, consent agenda.
Consent agenda items 8.
Second.
By Phil.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Trustee Hudson, second. With that, is there any discussion on consent agenda? Yes, trustee Miller.
Could we pull the minutes? There was an error.
Sure. So we're pulling item A. So the consent agenda motion will now be to accept consent agenda B through F. Any other to pull or questions? If not, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Baum,
Aye.
Trustee Hudson, Trustee Kaminsky, Oh, sorry. Trustee Rick Miller,
Aye.
Trustee Jan Miller,
Aye.
Trustee Myers, Trustee Nyrider,
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Thank you. So we will move on to item A, approval of the minutes, May 15th, 2023. Trustee Jan Miller.
Yes, there is a vote. Oh. We have that up? The vote for, toward the end,
Item number.
it was the consent agenda. Go into consent agenda.
The consent agenda or
Right.
closed session?
Oh, close, sorry. Yes, here.
Okay,
Um,
this is
they
the open
was-
session
That's open.
Let me see.
to go into closed session.
The
Oh,
page 5 of the minutes?
it would be
Six.
6 of the minutes, the last item. I think the motion was to go into closed session.
Mhm.
And for some reason I abstained.
You were not present for the vote to go into.
Okay. And then, the other one was, and this is for trustee. Oh. It was the same, you got, yeah, okay. It was correct. On the other one, I was Phil, but it was wrong in the paper, but it's right in the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve item A of the consent agenda.
No, of the minutes.
No, I'm approving item
A.
A of the
They have the
consent.
consent agenda, correct?
Minutes. Right.
Yes.
Second.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion. Any other discussion on the approval of the minutes? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. With that, we will move on to unfinished business, and that will be an update on utility billing system and summer sewer service credit.
And
Yeah, who's taking this?
I can,
Administrator Krecklow, thank you.
yes, I can provide a brief update. Matthew Usselding is on vacation this week, so he's not here to provide this report. But he did work with Tyler Munis last week on a test of the summer sewer service credit functionality. There was an issue that was discovered during the testing phase. The data for the fourth quarter of 2022 was recorded in the old Munis system, and the Munis system recorded the amount of water utilized in, instead of saying 12,500, 12,0500 would be 12.5. Is the way it was recorded. So when the Tyler Munis system would calculate the average, it calculated those incorrectly. It took 12,500 plus 12.5, calculated the average that way. And that is something that won't be an issue going forward because all of the data will be in Tyler Munis and be recorded the same way. We did identify a workaround to this. We can go into Tyler Munis and correct the fourth quarter usage manually. It would take some work hours. We estimate between 16 and 24 labor hours to manually update those items, it is something we can do, and that would allow us to go ahead and implement the changes to the summer sewer service credit that the board adopted a month or so ago. And then the final note is that because of the testing and then the additional work that has to be done, we'd probably be about a week or two late with the second quarter bills this year.
All right, question? Anybody? Trustee Hudson?
It's a consistent mistake. Why does it have to be fixed manually? Can't we just write a line of code and fix it?
Not in the time period. We can't write that. It would have to be a custom code developed by Tyler Munis. And so,
Multiply by 1,000.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay. So every bill has to be
Yeah.
adjusted.
there's, well, all that the summer sewer service credit applies to,
True.
About-
Just the summer sewer.
about
eligibility.
5,400 accounts.
Trustee Jan Miller.
How are we notifying the residents that the water sewer bill will be late? Talking about communication tonight.
Well, we'll post that on the website and on the Facebook page. Other than that, we don't have, sometimes people say, well, why don't you email everyone? We don't have email addresses for all of the customers. I think it would not be very efficient to mail them notices. So for the most part, probably about 80 or 90% of the residents, a week or two, they won't notice. But we will receive a larger number of calls that are coming in as people are looking for their bills. I hate this.
Trustee Hudson.
Do we have the telephone numbers of our citizens?
Not for all 5,400 customers.
So have we ever looked into doing something like the school board does, albeit at a reasonable time of day?
Yeah.
Let's not do that. But that's technologically, it's a pretty simple thing to do. It would solve some of what we've heard tonight, and I believe it's also pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, actually, we did look into this a few years ago. It was one of the communication system improvements that we looked at before we tried C-Click Fix, for example, and I don't recall the name of the product that we looked at, but those types of systems require some sort of a sign up, that you have to give your phone number or enter it into a system. And, for a school district where people are, hey, is my kid going to get out of school early? Does my kid have school tomorrow? People want to know. The things that the village does tend to affect a narrower group of people and with less regularity. So it's, we can look at a product like that again and maybe try to focus it on utility customers. But generally, most people are not that interested in getting notifications like that. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, if not, thank you for the update. And we will move on to new business. Item A, Police Department non-represented employee salaries. Who is taking this one?
And I could take this. This was an item that was before it went before Public Safety and before General Government and Finance. We looked at salaries for the command staff and the dispatch for the police department, compared those to some of the comparables in other communities. And in order to try to retain the leadership in our police department and remain competitive in order to hire when we do have vacancies, the recommendation is to increase the non-union employees within the police department as recommended in the memo.
Motion to approve new business A.
Second.
All right, a motion to approve the non-represented employee salaries as presented in the packet. Is there any discussion? All right, if not, all in favor, say aye. Oh, wait, we got to do roll call. I'm sorry. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Myers,
Aye.
trustee Jan Miller,
Aye.
trustee Baum, trustee Hudson, trustee Rick Miller,
Aye.
and trustee Nyrather.
All right, thank you. Motion carries. With that, we move on to item B, appointment of finance director.
Motion to approve new business B.
Second.
We have a motion to approve Matthew Uselding as the finance director. Is there any discussion? Yes, trustee Jan Miller.
If I read this statement correctly, I was trying to get to it, but it said that there's a base salary that's paid now, and then there's a $5,000 increment every year. Or did I read that wrong? Can you explain that, please?
Sure. The way that the position is structured, he would be hired at a pay grade 5 with a set salary. The pay scale does move up to a pay grade 6 if and when Matthew would get one of 3 certifications, either a certified public finance officer through the Government Finance Officers Association, a certified government finance manager through the Association of Government Accountants, or a certified public accountant through the Board of Accountancy. And what the offer level is stating is that when he achieved one of those 3 certifications, he would be moved to a pay grade 6, and his pay would increase either to the bottom of a pay range 6 or by $5,000, whichever is more. And that would be a one-time adjustment to his salary.
It's not every year.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Any further discussion?
No.
If not, do we need roll call for this?
No.
All right, with that, if not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, appointment of Aaron Hearn as interim village clerk.
Motion to approve new business C.
Second.
All right, I have a motion to approve Aaron Hearn as interim village clerk. Is there any discussion? Trustee Hudson.
I just want to make sure I read it correctly. This is only for a finite period of time until a permanent person is found?
Correct. We started the hiring process. We've actually interviewed a couple of candidates. The goal is to have someone before the village board for confirmation at the June 19th meeting. However, Ms. Rettler's last day is this Thursday, and there are some functions where we need to have an official village clerk who can sign off on CSMs, other documents that come through. So we do need to have someone who's appointed until we do have a village clerk on board.
How do we know that it's actually going to be June 19th?
I said it's a goal. We've had a couple of interviews, and I think we have some solid candidates. That's what we're working towards.
But doesn't this approval expire on June 19th? Don't we want to put that out to like maybe July 19th? Just in case a candidate turns us down or?
There was no date.
There was no date? I read it.
It talked about the possibility
Gotcha.
of coming up, but not an
So
inter.
it's until we get a new candidate.
Correct.
Thank you. My misread, I apologize.
All right, trustee Jan Miller?
That was my question.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, any further discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item D, administrator setting 2023 performance goals update. The village may enter into closed session per Wisconsin statute 19.85, paragraph 1, subparagraph C, considering the employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, and then may reconvene into open session to take such action as it deems appropriate.
Motion to go in closed session, new business D.
Second.
All right, and with that, I think we only need Administrator Kreklo and the village board. Any other discussion on that?
Can we note somewhere in the minutes that we finished this in less than a half an hour?
Yeah.
This may be a
We
record.
get a,
Leadership.
Yeah,
yes.
please put Rick Miller as chairperson, temporary chair.
Your job from now on.
Roll call.
All right, yeah, don't go anywhere yet. We still got to vote. So roll call vote, please.
Thank you.
Trustee Myers,
Aye.
trustee Baum, trustee Hudson.
Aye. All right, we will take a couple-minute break here to clear the room, turn off the video. Thank you for, didn't know my mic went off. Thank you for watching if you're watching at home, and we will not